Hey YouTube, happy Friday. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. It is next Friday. So, like I said last week, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite DC supervillains. If you didn't check out last week's video, here's a quick rundown. I did a favorite DC superhero and villains video a few months ago, but I only did a top 3. And everybody, or at least a lot of my friends, were like, Devin, that was kind of lame. Everybody does top 5s. And I was like, well, alright, I'll do a top 5. Now, I'm doing DC right now. I'm not a huge Marvel guy. I think I probably only have a top 3 favorite Marvel superheroes and villains, but I might do a Marvel video coming up here in the future. This is going on to my new playlist called Devin Things. It's just things about myself, if anybody's curious, and, you know, just kind of fun for me to talk about, and nice to kind of get it out there and let everybody know, hey, this is what I like. So, you know, with respect to that, I'm generally into sci-fi and things like that, and a little bit of fantasy, but anyhow, this video is going to be my top 5 favorite DC supervillains and why. So, without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. So my number 5 favorite DC supervillain is Brainiac. Why Brainiac? Well, Brainiac to me embodies he's not really a villain to me. He doesn't, you know, villains are you know, I guess by definition they're bad. And Brainiac is a computer, and he has his programming, and he is doing what he is programmed to do. And it's not necessarily like inherently like bad. He's collecting data and then deleting it as he goes. He's collecting data and deletes it as he goes. And he doesn't have like a personality. He doesn't. I mean, I guess he can get frustrated, but I don't really see Brainiac ever getting truly angry or having emotional reactions. He's kind of like emotionless, you know, kind of just he's a computer. And not only that, but he's an extremely powerful computer. He's like in at least you guys remember like Justice League Unlimited. He kind of reached like God level. Like he can take on Darkseid. You know, he has meshed the universe together. If you guys watched Convergence or read Convergence, you know, he's this all-powerful godlike being, but he's just a computer doing what he is programmed to do, and he's just taking his programming to an extreme. And I can say I kind of appreciate that, just because he's kind of very. I just like that he's very cold and just gets what he needs to do done. And I guess that's what's so villainy-ish about him, and that's why he's my number 5 favorite DC supervillain. Number 4, Gorilla Grodd. So why Gorilla Grodd? I like monkeys. You know, if you know me, which, you know, some of you may not, but I love Planet of the Apes. Anytime I see a gorilla with super intelligence and super strength, I'm just kind of like, what? That's so cool. That's really it. There's not a deeper reason behind why I like Gorilla Grodd. I think it's awesome that I mean you see his little thing in the Flash TV show where he had this whole gorilla army that stormed Central City, and he's just. He's got armor, and it's just cool. And same thing with the cartoons, and same thing with the comic books. He's just like the comic books, especially during New 52, when he like was killing speedsters or whatever and eating their hearts, and he killed his own dad. He's such a badass, and that's really, there's not a whole lot of deeper meaning behind it. I just really like the fact that he's just like this giant evil psychic gorilla. He's badass. So Gorilla Grodd. Number 3 was a tie. I think that happened in the last video too. But number 3 are 2 Flash villains actually. So the Reverse Flash and Captain Cold. I can't decide which one is more iconic to the Flash, because they are both his. Those are his villains. Those are his top 2. Just like, you know. And when I say Reverse Flash, you know, I mean, there's Reverse Flash from the show, and then there's Professor Zoom from the comics, but then the show also has Zoom, and then the newer comics has a new Reverse Flash, so it gets kind of complicated, but I'm talking about Reverse Flash Yellow Suit, the original guy. He's a psychopath. He has dedicated his life just to destroying Barry Allen's life, for little things, and he's crazy, and he murders people, and he's so integral to the Flash's like origin, and he's just a badass. He's scary. He's a scary guy, and that's why, you know, Reverse Flash is tied. Now Captain Cold, he's cold. He's calculated. He doesn't have superpowers. He just has a cold gun. I mean, I guess there was at one point when he got retconned, he had like ice powers, but then he turned it into a cold gun. And I really appreciate that, you know, he has a code of honor, he has a code of ethics, and he commits crime like it's his fucking day. sorry, it's like his day job, and you know, and it's just like it's cool. He's cool, he's cold, he's calculated. So Captain Cold. So Reverse Flash and Captain Cold. I can't decide which one between the two that I like more. Number 2 is Vandal Savage. Now, I remember telling you guys this in the original video as well. Vandal Savage is, in my opinion, he is just the perfect villain. Well, near perfect villain, just because he is a maniac. He is trained in all of everything. He can do anything and everything. He's been immortal. He was a caveman. He has been in the shadow of all governments for the history of ever. He's very patient. He's playing the long game, and the first time I was ever introduced to Vandal Savage was actually in the Justice League TV show when I was a kid, when Superman traveled into the future because of Toyman, and he met a future Vandal Savage that had actually realized that he was wrong and helped Superman go back. And I was like, oh, that was a cool guy. And I started reading about his the character. I just went on fucking, my God, I keep doing it, DC Wiki, just kind of reading about the character. And this is years ago, but the character himself was just really cool, just because he's this immortal caveman. That's really, he's a patient. He is calculated. He has a plan. He knows how to do it. He's always one step ahead of all the characters, or all the heroes, or all the everybody. He's one step ahead of literally everybody. So that is Vandal Savage, just the badass. And did you see him in the Flash TV show? All the languages he knew, all the cults that he ran, the fact that he was just in everything. He had a kid. He went to the future. He took over the world, and he, yeah, that's it. Now, my number 1 favorite DC supervillain is and always will be Black Manta. Why Black Manta? He's kind of like Joker level anonymous in a sense. The Joker, you don't know who he is, you don't know where he came from. He has like 5 different origins, even though the original origin where he's the Red Hood is considered his origin, but you don't know where he came from. You don't know who he was before he became the Joker. You don't know if he has a family. You don't know anything. Same thing with Black Manta. You know that his name is David. You know that Aquaman killed his dad. That was revealed, like 10 years ago or whatever. And that's really it. He is an evil person. He is just a straight bad person. He is not a good guy. He will kill anybody. I mean, if you read if you guys read Forever Evil, and he was going to kill the evil, and he was going to, go with Lex Luthor and stuff to stop the, oh God, what were they called? The bad guys, whatever. And they ran into the evil version of Alfred, and he just, he's like, they all die. And he just killed him, and he just dropped him and walked off. No remorse, no sense of humanity. He just does what he wants to do, needs to do, gets it done. Doesn't matter who gets hurt. He just... His goal is to kill Aquaman, and apparently they had killed Aquaman, so he was just like, I'm killing them because they killed my kill. And that's it. It's just death in his head. He's just a bad guy. And I think that embodies what a supervillain should be. He's just evil. Straight evil. There's no redeeming qualities about the guy. There's nothing where you can be like, well, I guess he's not so bad. He killed Aquaman's child. I don't know if you guys have ever read the original Aquaman series from like back in the 60s, but coming up, I think it was Adventure Comics 452, but he forced Aquaman and Aqualad to fight to the death, or else he would kill Aquaman's son. And then he still killed Aquaman's son after they were fighting. I mean, he killed a child. That is a villain, if you ask me. So that is why Black Manta is my number 1 favorite. Not that I'm for killing children, obviously, but he's just a bad guy. But anyways, so those are my top 5 favorite DC supervillains of all time. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. If you like this video, if you want to see more like it, smash the like button, comment on it, tell your friends about it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and if you are, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And then I guess, we'll just see you guys next week. I'm not sure what the video will be, but I'll figure it out. And that's it. So I will see you later, YouTube. Take care.